In recent times, Afrobeat has become the most important music genre from Africa. However, it's not always been this big. Here are the five most important songs in the history of Afrobeat. So at number five is Burna Boy's Ye. Now, Ye was released in 2017 and it was a turnaround for Burna Boy's career. Before Ye, he's had a couple of songs, like loads of songs actually. He had an album, he had an EP, but the release of Ye was what made him a global star. Grammy nominations came, loads of other laurels came, and Burna Boy became the global superstar we all know right now. It all started with Ye, released in 2017. Number four is Wizkid with Ojo Elegba. Now, Ojo Elegba was released in 2015, and as at then, Wizkid was already one of the biggest acts in Nigeria, but not on the global level. Now, the release of Ojo Elegba in 2015 was a total turnaround for Wizkid. Now, he started with Drake, Almighty Drake, jumping on the song for a remix, and before we knew it, Ojo Elegba was everywhere. And that was the beginning of Wizkid's global stardom. Today he's a superstar in his own right, and it all started with Ojo Elegba. At number three is Oleku by Ice Prince featuring Brymo. Now, Ice Prince and Brymo, at the time the song was released, late 2011/2012, were both signed to Chocolate City, owned by Audu Mekori. Now, there's no discussion around Afrobeat without Oleku's involvement, because at the time when this song was released and it went viral, particularly in the UK, there were discussions around how the sound coming from Nigeria and Africa indeed was going to be called, what they were going to call him, and then somebody suggested adding S to Fela's Afrobeat, and that's how Afrobeat came into existence. Now the debate still lingers about how that came to be, or who added what, or how it was added, but the fact remains that it was around the time when Oleku was gaining attention in the UK, and that's why Oleku is one of the most important songs in Afrobeat. I have a confession. Don't take it personal. I have a confession. You got to listen. You already know. At number two of the most important songs ever in Afrobeat is actually the Banj's Oliver Twist. Oliver Twist was released in 2012, and that was like the beginning of Afrobeat as it is. Now, aside from the fact that it had elements from Fela's Afrobeat, it had also modern elements, modern day, sound and stuff. It was something totally different, and Don Jazzy, really did magic with that song. It was new. It was like a fusion of different things that we'd never heard of, and that was like the inspiration for many other songs that came after. And it wasn't surprising that Oliver Twist entered the UK singles chart, and I think it charted at number 9 at the time, and that was just it. That is one of the reasons Nigerian songs became respected and big. At number 1 is Two Faces African Queen. That's the most important song ever in Afrobeat, and I think various pundits have actually made the debate to rest, especially with the recent announcement by Billboard naming it number 1 of the biggest Afrobeat songs ever. And we all saw although it was released about 20 years ago, African Queen still remains one of the best songs to come out of Africa. And we all saw the magic it did at the time. It was even used as the soundtrack of Fat Girls from Hollywood, Richard and Monique and the likes. It won to face several laurels from MTV, EMA to different awards around the world, not just in Africa. So those are the 5 most important songs in Afrobeat according to my team and I. If you have a different opinion, drop it in comment section. So that's it on the Big 5 moment. Remember to like, comment and share.